TNT Sports, home of Big East women's basketball. We welcome you to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, home of the Marquette Golden Eagles, where we've got a battle of the Big East Bird Gangs as Creighton looks to bounce Marquette for a third straight time. With that, we welcome you inside the Al McGuire Center and courtside, alongside the most effervescent analyst you will ever see, Christy Winter-Scott. I'm Cindy Brunson. Chelsea Sherrod is the third member of our broadcast team. When you look at this matchup, Christy, what jumps out at you?
How similar they are. I mean, it's like a Spider-Man meme when it comes to their three-point shooting prowess, but they do it in different ways. You're looking at Creighton. They are tied for 7th best, knocking in 9.9 triples per contest, and they let them fly, okay? High-volume triples, almost 30 per game they release from behind the line. And then on the other side, you're looking at a Marquette team who is really blistering those nets. Cindy shooting 40% from range to lead the country in that category. So you're looking at two teams that shoot it, and they are going to have to take that away from one another.
So if you love the long ball, this is the matchup for you. Taking a look at our starting lineup. Great news for Creighton as Ava Zedeker is back. She is the leading scorer for the Blue Jays, and she's been out with the last couple of games with concussion protocol and dealing with those symptoms. And the starting lineup for Marquette, same usual suspects that has got this team at 10-5 on the season and 7-1 here at home. And there is Zedeker ready to rock and roll. We're ready to jump it up at the center circle. It is Creighton wearing the blue jerseys on the road, and it is Marquette winning the tip in the home white jerseys. The referee is Tom Danaher, umpire Ryan Durham, and Tasha Smith.
I'm really intrigued by this matchup.
Foul is called, and that will send Haley Weiss to the free throw line.
Well, that's a paint touch, and that's exactly what Marquette wants, right? They want to dominate in the painted area, and they want high volume. We're talking about they don't shoot a high volume amount of threes, but they do take a lot of shots on the interior. And Kara Consuegra, the head coach for Marquette, said, hey, we want 55 paint touches. And whether that's scoring it in there, we got to at least touch the paint with our 10 toes.
Consuegra in her second season here at Marquette, where she is the reigning Big East Coach of the Year.
Yeah, phenomenal. They were picked 10th last season in the preseason poll, ended up 4th. She was able to earn that award, but she was just getting started. And I love her philosophy with coaching, saying we just want to move the basketball. They average 19 assists. Sharing is caring, and team is always first in her locker room.
Shot clock getting skinny. Zedeker kicking it back. Kennedy Townsend off the mark. And it is Weiss grabbing the rebound, and she's on the run. Nice feed inside, but it's Skylar Forbes getting whistled for steps. And there is Coach Joe Flannery, Jim Flannery, 24th season. He graduated Creighton in 1987, and Jim is one of the nicest human beings walking the planet Earth.
Yeah, no question about it. And he was asking us the questions today at shoot-around. I loved it. What was the best arena that we'd ever called games at? He's just really a fun person to be around.
And he's just a fan of the women's game and all of the growth.
Yeah,
loves to see it.
It's awesome.
Zedeker bottled up. Again, the shot clock getting low. Zedeker thought she had some daylight and then ran out of real estate.
Yeah, but give credit to Marquette's defensive prowess on that particular defensive possession, right? Even if you had Creighton relocating, they had those hands up and active in the passing lanes, no relief to get that pass out.
Golden Eagles pride themselves on the culture that Coach Consuegra is building. Nice take to the rim. Jaden Mason with the finish.
And that's what Marquette wants to do. And that's their mantra. Kara Consuegra, she told us, she said, we play for and with each other. And it's all over their locker room, the weight room. It's marked everywhere as a reminder of why they're doing what they're doing.
Grace Buffelli leaves it short. And another rebound by Skylar Forbes. No surprise there, as she came away with 8 rebounds against Nova. Ball gets poked out of bounds, but will stay with Marquette.
Yeah, let's take a look at Marquette, right? They want to get downstairs. They want to go straight for the money with a straight line drive to the cup. And that's something that Mason does exceptionally well. I mean, she's going to ride low in terms of how low she keeps the ball to the ground. But she's one of the X factors for the team that doesn't get mentioned enough.
That was a terrific take by Haley Weiss.
And Haley Weiss, just a straight line drive by her, and she's so long and lanky and has a great touch. But it was that first step that got her open with the space that she needed.
Townsend bouncing to Zedeker, who wanted the foul call, didn't get it, and here come the Golden Eagles pushing pace.
Good patience here. Creighton needs to do a really good job of taking that paint away, but then here comes some threes going up. So it's kind of pick your poison, and that's what Kara Consuegra told us was different about her team from last year. Last year, they didn't shoot the three ball like they were shooting it this year. Take a look. Look at Weiss. We're not in Miami, but boy, I tell you what, she went straight to the rim with that one with some ease. She's so tough, and you know, in speaking with her, she just has her nose to the grindstone when it comes to getting better and better. Not just every year, but every single play. You can tell her intentionality, and that's why she's being double teamed here and shaded on the strong side block.
And that ball bounces out of bounds and will turn over to Creighton.
Well, at least it was a dead ball turnover, and both teams want to push the pace and get live ball stops. For Creighton, they want to get it and go and maybe look for some open threes on instances like that.
Creighton with a very youthful roster, 6 freshmen, a couple sophomores, 2 seniors. Zedeker almost lost the handle, gets it back. Townsend fires, too strong. Nice weak side rebound. Allison Peacock coming through. Townsend kicking it back out, but too strong.
Kara wants to shoot that. She was a shooter, but she was a player. It's a good pass that came right to her. I know she wanted to lift it just to see if she can make it from there.
She probably can.
Yeah, doesn't that matter? Great energy. I mean, she came over to speak with us, shoot around the day, and it's just palpable.
I wanted to check my eligibility.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to play for her. It was so engaging.
And that's why everybody came back.
Terrific effort on the follow by Olivia Porter. Chapel Hill native, the senior.
And Creighton's got to get some points on the board here, but give credit to Marquette, kind of switching everything, making it really difficult to get into the paint.
Marquette starting this game on an 8-0 run. Townsend reversing, and Creighton's on the board.
Yeah, that was a great backdoor cut on that weak side. If you don't turn your head, your body's not going to go with you. You turn your head, that's a quicker way to try to disrupt and deflect on actions like that.
Mason, nice little hesitation. Inside device, Townsend is there with the double team and comes up with the turn.
Creighton did a good job of switching the primary defender there, trying to get the cross match, but got the deflection and steal instead. Ooh, yep.
Offensive foul whistled against the Golden Eagles.
But this is why pinpoint cuts are so invaluably important. Look at that back cut, and then she mishandled it, but was still able to come up with it and corral it and get that reverse to go.
Jordan Melman's checking in for the Golden Eagles, the junior.
Maybe Creighton needs to, you know, continue to run that set, you know, to get those easy looks right there at point-blank range until the defense changes schematically to try to take that away or disrupt it.
Yeah, I'm sure Jim Flannery wants more than 2 points in 5 minutes of play.
Right. I mean, I like that look for them. If they can try to get those slice cuts going.
It'll be a Marquette foul as we go to break. So far, so good for the Golden Eagles, up 8-2 here in the first. Welcome back to Milwaukee, where Marquette is on top of Creighton, 8-2. Let's bring in the third member of our broadcast team, Chelsea Sherrod. Chelsea, what do you have?
You should expect a rebounding battle between Grace Buffelli and Hallie Weiss. Both players listed at 6'1", lead their respective teams in rebounds per game. While Grace has pulled down 28 rebounds over her last 3 games, Hallie has grabbed 30 over her last 2. Both teams expect this to be a physical matchup inside, with Jim Flannery and Kara Consuegra making rebounding a point of emphasis. For Marquette, rebounding typically leads to their success. They are 9-0 when they out-rebound their opponent. But funny enough, this head-to-head matchup between Grace and Hallie actually dates back to high school. Grace told me at shoot-around that she played Hallie when she was a senior and Hallie was a freshman. Neither of them really remember that matchup, but they're excited to go head-to-head again in this one. And we'll see who pulls away with the upper hand.
That is awesome. Thanks so much, Chelsea. Definitely something to keep an eye on. I asked Coach Consuega where her eyes go when she gets a box score after a game. She said immediately to the rebound.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing. Mine as a coach, this is why I love that question to ask coaches.
Yeah.
It's the plus minus for me. Like, how are you helping the team? Even if you have a gaudy point stat line, which kids' eyes often go to. Yeah, I was talking about it today before you asked that, and I covered it up. I said, listen, I cover all that up. And I look at plus minuses, and, you know, 20 points, 10 rebounds is nice, but if you're a minus 10, you're hurting us, you know. So I love to hear what coaches have to say about that, because everybody's different. But rebounding is definitely a battle of possessions that you want to win.
Elizabeth Gentry picking up the personal foul. It was a nifty move by Porter, but she was called for the traveling violation. And she's like, review that. I didn't walk.
She said, what did I do? Just a little extra half step there.
So Porter will take a seat.
Right. She was 6 of Marquette's 8 points that are on the board have been in the paint, right? And that's the intentionality we're referring to when we're talking about Kara Consuegra and what she wants from her team. And they are following the game plan. And she also said that that was at top of mind as well for one of the keys.
Kendall McGee gets the roll. Stop, pops, and cannot connect is Jaden Mason.
Let's see if Creighton can get some early pin downs. They like to run that to the weak side and try to free up some opportunities. They like a 5-out set as well, as you see here.
That three missed everything. Easy rebound. You just love when they fall in your lap. Mason's going, thank you. And then she lost the handle.
Oh, wow.
Townsend on the deck.
She tried it.
And it will belong to Creighton.
And Gentry, I mean, she's a 39% shooter from 3. And that one was just way off. I'm not sure if she rushed her mechanics on that one, but that was not a typical shot by her.
Allison Heathcock will take a seat, and Ava Zediker is back in for the Blue Jays.
See, here's the pin down action. See the double stagger, trying to set that up, and you can reject the stagger, which happens here.
Townsend, midi.
Townsend had a choice to come off a 2-side or a 1-side on that. And chose the 1 side, but she's off the mark. But I like that set, right? You're gonna have to set and utilize good screening actions to free yourselves from this staunch Marquette defense.
We know Townsend can fill it up.
She can.
We saw her at Georgetown with that career-high 30 points.
30, yeah. 30-piece side biscuit on the side. Golly, she's not missing in that game.
Skylar Forbes connects.
I told her when she came over to speak to us after shoot-around that her shot was so soft and that lift was so early. And, you know, I love that because she started playing the game late.
Yes, she did not start playing basketball until a freshman year in high school.
Right.
So she's just kind of hitting her stride as far as growth and development. And that is good news for Team Canada.
Yeah, and she was on that Canadian national team, and she said that it's just more physical. Players are bigger and stronger here in the USA, but everything else schematically is very similar. It's just the speed.
Nora Gesser couldn't answer from 3. Nice bounce pass back to Forbes. And another traveling violation.
Let's take a look right here at the mechanics. Skylar Forbes. Look at this little pitch back pass. And she gets her feet set right behind the line and splashes that one home with just a feathery touch on that follow through.
Markham, Ontario is home. She was a member of Canada's silver medal under-18 America Cup team in 2022.
It's just a lot of fun. I mean, the fact that she started playing basketball as a freshman in high school, there's no bad habits formed that she needed to break.
Right.
And I found that to be quite intriguing about her journey in the game.
Volker leaving it for Vice. Baseline jumper. Didn't get the roll.
Kara Consuegra said that Volker was a do-it-all player. She called her a Swiss Army knife in terms of what she is able to do. She can fill it up, and she can shoot the ball well. She's been facilitating early on here.
Ooh, okay, McGee. That when it snaps the net,
yeah.
You know the rotation is right.
Yeah, that's my ringtone on my phone. Is that.
Oh, I love that.
Well, I want it to be.
Okay, yeah. I got you. Trademark that. I would sign up for that. Yeah. A minute to go here in the first quarter. The hoop would not have that shot from Vice. Zediker looking to set things up. 2-for-1 opportunity if Creighton wants to take it.
Zediker trying to get off the ball.
Buffelli working in the paint. McGee didn't get the heat check to go. Ball will go out of bounds and belong to.
Drop coverage defensively and drop that three home from range if you're McGee. She measured it, she caught it, stay patient, like she's going to stay that far away. Right. Let me go ahead and take this one. That's this one in. Right. She shoots 33% on the season. It's not like you're going to leave her. Oh, yeah, you got to honor it. Yeah. And it was a shot clock. Yeah, shot clock and game clock, almost identical. 8 seconds. Pushing everything up top. The board in traffic. No basket. Another travel violation. This is against Marquette. Turnovers starting to mount. And Marquette now has 7. Well, makes a difference.
Makes a difference. This is a Marquette team that only gives 16 turnovers a game, so that's already a danger zone as the first quarter ends. It is Marquette on top, 11-7. We've got much more Big East women's basketball coming your way here on True TV. Thanks so much for joining us. Grab a snack and come on back. Welcome back to Milwaukee. Little Sparkies enjoying this one. Cheer on your favorite Big East teams with officially licensed fan gear. For the best selection of team apparel and accessories, head to shopncaasports.com today.
Yeah, I love they're wearing their holiday gifts right there.
I know, absolutely amazing.
Cute.
Marquette in control, up 11-7. No surprise, really, because Marquette, under head coach Kara Consuegra, loves home cooking. 20-3 over the last couple of seasons here.
Yeah, I mean, they won 12 games here last year, and that was really solid for them in terms of the leverage that they were able to garner, especially throughout the Big East portion of the season.
Empty possession to start the second quarter for Creighton. Forbes, a little too strong. McGee gets it back after getting the rebound to start the possession. Buffelli, cross court.
It almost looks like it's a matchup zone by Marquette, and their rules. I'm trying to understand what the rules are, but that weak side, you know, they sink in so hard to that lane line.
Talk about Marquette's success here at home. Part of that is because familiar faces in places. Chelsea has more on that.
Marquette's the only program in Division I women's basketball to return all of its players from last season, and Kara Consuegra says it's been a huge benefit to have that in her second year at the helm because they all understand her coaching style more, and they all know how to work with each other a little bit more. She says that the culture at Marquette is valued over everything else, and she can see how much more connected her team is on the court. But they have had multiple players in and out of the lineup this season, so she doesn't even believe that they've reached their full potential yet this year. So a lot more room to grow for Marquette.
Thanks so much, Chelsea. Hear that? They haven't hit their stride, and already this season, they've eclipsed the 80-point mark 5 times.
No, I mean, first of all, Chelsea, that's just a phenomenal nugget, because that is just flat out uncommon, especially in this day and age, to have every single player on your roster return to the team. So that speaks volumes for the culture that Kara Consuegra has set up here. That's why she was co-coach of the year in the Big East. And these players have bought in, and that's what they all said to us after shoot-around.
Nice take by Buffelli. Great finish at the rim. And she got Jada Kiriako on her hip and just said bye-bye.
Going underneath those slot extended ball screens. And I think that's smart. Trying to protect that painted area. And that's what Marquette has done exceptionally well in this game so far, even though they haven't knocked in there yet in this quarter.
With the shot clock getting low, that shot would not fall for Porter, but the O-board is there. I don't know why Melmans didn't shoot that three. I was ready to call her name. Porter, back iron. Check that Mason back iron, and it will be Creighton with a chance to take the lead, and Townsend gives it to him.
Yeah, that's what you can't do, and that's what I was talking about, pace of play. That's what Creighton wants to do. They want to get it down, one pass, fire up a 3-ball, and knock it home. I mean, they make just under 10 per contest, 9.9, tied for 7th best in the country from the 3-point stripe.
Marquette just won for its last 10 field goal tries. Little scoring issue here for the Golden Eagles.
Well, they've been settling for mid-range shots and threes, and they're about to settle for another one because they're not letting them in the paint.
Mason to beat the shot clock.
Oh, my goodness. No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
No, she didn't get to the nail and put those toes down and pull it like that. That was just vicious with it.
Marquette back in front, 13-12. Creighton winning this quarter, 5-2 after Marquette won the first quarter, 11-7. Marquette started this game on an 8-0 run. Creighton has found its offensive footing. McGee thought about the three. Shot clock getting real low. McGee's got to get it up. Off glass. Beautiful finish.
Yeah, really good job, though, by Mason. She thought she was being picked on there, I think, twice. To try to get a mismatch down in the trenches there. At the end of that play, gave it up to that turnaround jet.
Great block up top by Neely Gessert, and it will belong to the Blue Jays.
Yeah, watch this move late in duress of the shot clock. And, ooh, the in and out. I can't find space. Let me back up a little bit. And then, God, ooh, that was just cold-blooded right there. And then, yeah, not today. Let me send that back. The camera was trying to find the ball. It's not up there. Got sent back.
And with that, we will step aside. It is Creighton on top, 14-13 in this Big East Bird Battle. Creighton has come back to take the lead on a 14-5 run thanks to Kendall McGee. 7 points to lead all scorers, Christy.
Yeah, it's a 7-2 quarter so far, and this is why. Stay aggressive with it. Let me back down this mouse in the house and pay it off with the deuce. And you're not going to guard me. You're going to guard me next time because here's 3 of these. And then this one, let me get to this mid-range and get to the body. And just an easy-peasy turn and shoot on the lane line. I mean, she made that half-court shot at the end of shoot-around today, and I said, hey, you know what? You might want to put that basketball on the table and use that one for the game, and I think that's exactly what happened.
She heard you. She heard you.
And I think they are using that basketball. It still has some heat on it.
Yeah, she is on the bench. She's earned a rest. All 7 of her points have come here in the second quarter of play. 5.5 to go here in the second. And Creighton looking to add to its lead. That shot left short at the rim by Gentry.
You see Creighton running that 5-out offense, just kind of a cut and replace. Trying to get those back cuts. They found themselves free a couple of times on those back cuts. Porter.
Golfer trying to shake her defender. Can't. Forbes thought about the three. And now it is Porter. Back iron, and it winds up with Marquette.
Oh, a really good extra pass. I thought that was going to be a launch. from 3.
And here goes Porter. No. And another offensive rebound almost as Volker couldn't hang on, and Creighton is on the move. Townsend, triple.
You see how quickly they want to lift that thing in transition. Sprint to the corner, feed the corner, and lift it. Marquette's got to get back and recognize that and disrupt that.
Volker, nothing but minutes.
Yeah, that's a DMVer right there. Went to Paul VI High School. Spent her first 2 seasons at Duke. And then transferred here. It's her 2nd season here at Marquette. The do-it-all player, the Swiss Army knife, Kara Consuegra told us. Just hustles.
Preseason All Big East as well. And it's Marquette back on top, 16-14. 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Gentry, Forbes with the rebound, calling out Volker. Hey, I'm not bringing this ball up the floor, you are. And now a whistle blows.
When you say Gentry, it makes me think of Lindsay Whalen, but
I got you.
Anyway, it's funny to me. But take a look down inside. Yeah, there's like a displacement. It's the toughest place to guard a post player straight in front of the rim. You know, that's just the danger zone. And you have to, if you're defending that spot, you've got to release and pick a side. Like, you just can't stay buried behind. But you can't pull the offensive player away. And that's what happened there.
Gentry picked up her 2nd personal. Weiss is back in there and again in the box score. She now has 6.
Back to the basket, super crafty and quick with her release, but it's her decision making, right? That is so swift.
Speaking of swift, Neely Gesser rising fire.
Oh my goodness.
Both teams have hit a couple of 3-pointers.
Yeah, this is a swish. And swift. All 3 of those. Just easy, off the screen. You can't be late, right? And there was drop coverage right there. So you've got to close that gap. If you're that next defender of the person who's setting the screen, you can't be laying back. It's going to be hard for the screen off person to contest it.
The bump and the bucket will send Forbes to the free throw line. Gesser picking up her 2nd personal foul, so she's on the bench. Forbes working hard.
Yeah, got that body positioned well, and then the reverse pivot and got straight downstairs with contact on the 2nd line of rotational defense that wasn't established in time.
3-point play the old-fashioned way is complete as Buffelli picks up her 2nd personal foul. So a little bit of foul concern for the Blue Jays.
Right. See, they're trying to hunt out this mismatch in there, and they're getting it.
There goes McGee yet again. She's got 9. All 9 points coming here in the second quarter. 3 minutes to go before we hit the half.
Let's see if Marquette does something else defensively, not to have them hunt out and exploit that cross match.
Forbes giving it up. Corner 3. Porter is pure.
A tough bucket, but great patience by Marquette right there to not settle for the first shot.
Each team has hit 3 3-point shots. It's exactly what we expected. Inside to Buffelli. Just the single coverage from Forbes. Buffelli fighting through, but a little too strong. And that was too tall for Weiss, and it will go the other way.
And Marquette, they love to share the basketball. It's one of their strengths for sure. 19 assists per contest, and the extra swing to that corner for that triple was on full display. Kara Consuegra played at Iowa, and Lisa Bluter, the head coach who has now retired from there. It was Lisa Bluter's first season as a coach. And I asked her, do you still say beautiful like Lisa Bluter does when you see the extra pass? She said, I do. So shout out to Lisa Bluter for that.
That 3 is good. Tremendous effort and ball movement. Heathcock with the finish. Marquette, 4 of its last 4 from the floor. Looking to add to some really nice shooting.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
A little too tall for Forbes. And the turnovers continue to mount for Marquette.
Yeah, look at that spray out. Paint 3 by Creighton. They were going to get a piece of the paint, shrink the defense down. Now you can spray it out for those triples that they crave. And it's just tough defensively because you want to take the pain away, right? But you have to understand your defensive principles have to change when you're playing a team like Creighton.
100%.
Because of the high volume of triples they like to let go.
Minute and a half to go here in the second quarter. No over and back as the Volker got a touch. That three short, and Volker is there for the rebound.
She's cleaning up the glass work, doing a little bit of everything, as Kara Consuegra told us that she would be.
Good ball movement by the Golden Eagles. Inside to Forbes, there's the double team. Nice pass, and then Gesser thought she got all ball. Nora's like, wait a minute, here it is.
I love it, but watch the recognition here. The double team comes from the high side. Now Forbes can go low side, and that defense is not on a string. You got to help the helper. You got to be on the inside already. You can't be late. Can't be tardy for the party right there. And now you get the foul because you're out of position. So when that defense goes over to help, you got to go.
Porter buries the first. Bleacher Report is your one-stop destination for all things college basketball. Get live scores, breaking news, and highlights from today's games. Download the BR app now. Porter 2 for 2. She is money. She's standing there like, let me shoot another one. Those were so pretty.
Yeah.
Just a 53% free throw shooter.
Yeah.
So for her to hit a pair, to help Marquette add to its lead, that's big.
That's something, just overall, both teams shooting at about a 77, 78% clip as a team. As the season progresses, you know how important that is to knock those in. Free money.
I do not know how Heathcock got that ball up. The defense was snubbed.
Yeah, she went YMCA on that thing, and the hands were up high. And she went to the torso and flipped it under the underarm.
Skylar Forbes picking up her second personal foul. Make sure those contact lenses and eyelashes are okay.
Stick them back on, but watch right here. She's gonna go right up under. That's the YMCA thing right there. Bait the contact, right? She couldn't go over top, so she's gonna go underneath and scoop that thing in.
Heathcock, the sophomore out of Edmond, Oklahoma. She's also the assist leader on the team. And she has had trouble scoring the basketball of late. Just under 5 points a game in her last 4. So she's ready to get right in a hurry.
Yeah, well, she's a winner. I mean, she won 2 state titles in Oklahoma. So when you have players that understand what it takes to win, you love to have those kinds of players on your roster. So,
and she just hit the first free throw of the game for Creighton. Rattles home the second. So still a one-possession game. Remember, Marquette started this game on an 8-0 run, and then thanks to the play of Kendall McGee, Creighton found its offense here in the second quarter, got right, and now we're a little back and forth.
Yeah, well, Creighton has been able to go to and go through McGee in that cross-match situation, and I think, you know, she's matched up with Mason. Yeah, so they kept hunting and sniffing that out.
Porter, triple try. Oh, that's nice.
Big one. A nice one, 39% striker from the three-point line. And again, solid patience.
She is into double figures with 10. Shot clock is off. Creighton will play for the final possession. The lead is 5 for Marquette. Golden Eagles led by 8 in the first quarter.
Going like to stagger on the strong side.
Kennedy Townsend lost the handle, and a traveling violation as the panic was starting to set in for the Blue Jays.
Lee Volker did a fantastic job right there, keeping a stick arm in that passing lane. He just totally terrorized that possession defensively.
Forbes will go off. Doesn't want to risk the personal foul, and that is how the first half will end. Marquette on top, 29-24, looking to win a third straight game overall and improve its standing in Big East play along the way. Currently looking up at Villanova and #1 in the country, undefeated Connecticut. Let's send it over to Chelsea with Coach Consuegra.
Coach, a bit of a back and forth first half. Creighton went on a bit of a run to take the lead in the second quarter. Now you're up 5 at the half. How do you feel about the way that your team was able to close out the half?
Yeah, I mean, I think we started to focus in on what we're good at on offensively. Credit to Creighton. I mean, they're trying to take the paint away from us. And we just didn't adjust well. I took that timeout in the second quarter to kind of get our kids refocused, and I thought they did that.
Kendall McGee kind of having her way a bit on the offensive end. How do you slow her down?
Yeah, I mean, she's a tough matchup for us with some of our small guards, so we just got to pay attention to that matchup better.
All right, Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cindy?
Thanks so much, Chelsea. Appreciate you. Marquette found its offense, going 3 for 3 from 3 to close out that second quarter. Big part of the reason why Marquette has the lead at the half. The halftime show is coming your way next. Do stick and stay.
Welcome back. I'm here with Creighton head coach Jim Flannery. Coach, your team crawled their way back into this game after a slow start. How do you feel about the way they ended the half?
Yeah, I thought we defended. I mean, we wouldn't be in any kind of good position at all if we hadn't defended, but I thought the first quarter when we were really sluggish offensively, we hung in there. I thought our post defense was good. Our attention to shooters was good for the most part. We got to be better on offense. Kendall McGee post-ups were really good for us. She did a great job down there. We got to throw the ball inside more to her and to Grace Bofelli, okay? And then we got to move it just a little bit quicker so their pressure doesn't get to us. If we can do that, we'll be okay.
All right, Coach, good luck. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Chelsea.
Cindy?
All right, Chelsea, Jim Flannery, thanks so much for that. Back at the table alongside Christy Winter-Scott, I'm Cindy Brunson. We expected a three-point shot to fall. Both teams hit 4, but this game is being decided in the paint.
Yeah, it's a 10-8 advantage for Marquette in that way. You know Marquette was being intentional, trying to get downstairs and finish right there at the cup. They were able to get some straight-line drives early. They led 8-2 because of it. But then that defense tightened up and started to take that paint away, and Creighton started punishing in the painted area for their 8 points. Most of that damage was done in the second quarter, but they really did a great job of getting Marquette in rotation and punishing the mismatches inside.
Those were the AT&T moments that matter from the first half of play. As you look at these halftime stats, Christy, what jumps out at you?
Well, you're looking at the rebounding, right? And I think we're talking about the interior play coming alive for both teams, but I think the rebounding and the war of the paint and the rebounds and the second chance opportunities, that's where this game is going to be won.
Jim Flannery getting a lot of bench support as well. 9-0 in bench points, advantage Blue Jays. It will be the Golden Eagles with the basketball to start this third quarter of play.
Yeah, Marquette only averages 15 bench points, so that's something maybe Creighton can take advantage of.
Not sure who that pass was intended for besides Forbes, as she wasn't tall enough to get it. Her and Mason have a discussion, and it will be Creighton basketball.
Well, you got to get back to basics, and those entry passes need to be fake the pass up high and drop it down low with a bounce pass, so the post player who has great positioning in front of the defense down in there can catch it without losing the position that they fight so hard to hold.
Zediker trying to shake defenders. Scoop shot wouldn't fall. Here come the Golden Eagles. Nobody made Mason pick up the basketball. Corner 3 on the way. Not the result Volker wanted, but the O board goes to the Golden Eagles.
It was a great idea, though. Spray out triple try.
Volker, step back.
Okay. Wow. He was like, all right, let me get to this midi work right here. Volker. And she is a 3-level scorer. And she is a 3-point shooter. That's why that wasn't a bad shot for her to take there. She's trying to put too much steam on it, and she shoots 41% from 3. So that one was just an anomaly, in my estimation.
100%. Zediker thinking about it. That ball partially blocked as the shot clock expires. So good defensive stand by Marquette.
Good job defensively by Lee Volker. They're getting a piece of it. And watch right here. She's going to put the ball on the deck, attack that top leg, and then that fader with the leg out. Dash. You know I love a good fader. That was tough. But she created that space to get that one to go.
3-2 strong. Another offensive rebound for the Golden Eagles.
And another possession. That's why I said that was going to be a statistic to circle for the second half for Marquette on the glass.
Corner 3, too strong. Zedeker comes up with it, and she is on the run. Zedeker, little scoop, wouldn't fall. $1,000 move, 10-cent finish. Oh, I thought she was going to pull from three. Forbes does, and can't connect. Townsend says, all right, let's settle down here for a second.
Well, that's one thing that Marquette doesn't want to settle for, right? The threes, they don't take a lot of them, even though they're second best in the country, shooting 40%. And maybe they're trying to get that going.
Another rebound by Forbes. She's been all over the glass.
So they've got to get the ball to the second side and get some rotation for Creighton's defense.
Forbes off glass. And with that, Jim Flannery needs a time. He wants to talk to his Eagles, and here's why.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, get it off the rim and try again. Forbes with a little fake one way and the finish on the other.
Taking a look at the upcoming schedule on January 10th, Butler will battle St. John's on ESPN+, Georgetown and DePaul on ESPN+ as well. January 11th, Villanova Providence on True TV at noon, followed by UConn and Creighton on True TV. And that is why Jim Flannery just called timeout. He knows the Huskies are coming. They're undefeated, playing better than ever, #1 in the land. So he wanted to come to Milwaukee and get this dub because it takes a whole lot of going right and your way to beat the Huskies.
And it's like you're standing in the ocean when it comes to UConn, because they come at you in waves and you just never know when you're going to get overcome by one. Try to save yourself. It's a lot going on. I mean, the talent that Gino Ariema has, and the reigning championship program team this year, I mean, they are just a machine when it comes to depth.
Bofelli up and in with more on what the huddle was like for Creighton. Let's check in with Chelsea.
And Cindy, Jim Flannery did not hold back in that last timeout. He said to his team, he said, where's our effort with rebounding? You want it to be easy? It's everybody. Our physicality just isn't there. Long shots means long rebounds. And when he spoke to us earlier at shoot-around, he said he felt like they were undisciplined against Butler with their long rebounds. So he's looking for a much better effort, much more aggression from Creighton.
No, absolutely. We were talking to him, and he said, we just cannot give up those extra possessions. And he said, you know, if they have a plus 15 or 20 advantage on the glass, we're not going to win the game. So we've got to tighten those screws.
Bofelli asking for a foul call, didn't get it, and then Zedeker goes down. Remember, she is just coming back from concussion protocol, and this is not what Blue Jays fans want to see.
This didn't look like anything egregious, but there was contact made as Volker was trying to come back and try for the steal and got her right across the face there.
What? That was Nora Gessert getting that contact.
Volker going over to tag her and to say she's sorry about that. And they tapped each other on the back. Good sportsmanship between the two.
And that's just my personal concern for Zedeker, because we saw her get hurt at Georgetown. She's back from concussion protocol. Nice to see Nora Gessert under her own power, able to walk to the bench. Athletics trainer Nick Bees will go to the locker room with her. As soon as we get an update from Chelsea on her status, we'll let you know about Nora Gessert.
They're ghosting that high ball screen, which means they don't actually set it and they empty up.
McGee can't get the three to fall. And a whistle blows on the rebound.
It was an off-the-ball situation there where there was some displacement going on, extracurricular.
So Neely Gessert picking up her third personal foul, trying to get the rebound, but a little too much contact.
Coach Flannery said he wanted to see more physical play, but it has to be within the rule book. Trying to get those extra possessions off the glass.
Largest lead of the day for Marquette has been 9.
It looks like Creighton switching 1 to 5 defensively here, trying to stay short up and gapped.
Nora Gessert has just went back to the locker room. As soon as we get an update on her status, we'll let you know. Incidental contact from Volker, sending her to the locker room. Buffelli. And they're going to ticket Forbes with the personal foul. Marquette is on top, 33-26 in this Big East Bird Gang battle. Welcome back to Milwaukee, where Skylar Forbes is Marquette's leading scorer on the season, and she's starting to show us why.
Well, she is just flat out tough, right? She's so smart with how she dissects the defense, makes the proper reads, catches it, reads that the defense is coming from the high side and goes low. And you'd love to see her get onto the boards and get her own touch. If that pass can't come into you cleanly, you go get it cleanly with 2 high hands on the old glass and finish things up at the rim.
Skylar Forbes with 8 points, but she's on the bench with 3 personal fouls. Townsend kicking it back, 3 on the way, short, and I tell you what, Heathcock knew it, chasing that rebound down. Jump ball is called, and the possession arrow is pointing at Creighton. So ball out of bounds underneath for the Blue Jays.
That's a good fight. Let's see what Creighton goes to here with fresh 20.
Under 5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Townsend, I thought she was going to pull.
I thought it was going to be a give it back to the screener.
Yeah.
I thought she had an advantage there after that pick.
McGee with the shot clock getting skinny. Off the bounce, beautiful bounce pass. And then a traveling violation. I think Gentry was surprised by the pass.
Yeah, but a lot of different players now guarding McGee after that hot first half. Now she has more size on her, so she tried to give up. A beautiful pocket pass dime that was quite surprising, I think, to catch with 2 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, little scoring drought for Marquette, 2.5 minutes as the Golden Eagles try to find some more offense.
Shooting here, Mason.
Shot clock into single digits. A whistle blows as Bidiaco finishes at the cup and will shoot a free throw.
Now Bidiaco with great hands, individually covered inside. Great patience by Volker to find her downstairs, and all she had to do was flip it over the front lip of the rim and snuggle that one home. Just really great execution by Marquette inside.
Spent some time at Georgia Tech, completes the 3-point play the old-fashioned way. Another Canadian representing here on this Golden Eagles team.
See Creighton just trying to stay in the mix with their motion offense, 5-out, pass and cut, trying to catch Marquette off guard with these cuts.
McGee off the mark from 3. And so the scoring drought for the Blue Jays now 2.5 minutes.
McGee has seen about 3 or 4 different defensive looks, and none of them have been Mason, right? In that first half, she took advantage of that cross match with Mason guarding her, and Mason has not seen her as a primary matchup here in the second half.
Mason going behind the back beautifully, pulls it back out to reset.
Match an angle inside.
That was basically thrown into a triple team. Blue Jays made him pay. Townsend, trail 3. And Volker comes out of the pack. She is a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, I mean, she's just everywhere the ball is.
3 on the way, too strong as Townsend comes away with the rebound.
Volker, I told you she was from the DMV, played at Paul VI, but also played AAU basketball for GTS Fusion. AZ Fudd's parents, Tim and Katie Fudd, were the head coaches there. And 2 other, obviously AZ Fudd was on that team. Bree Scott was on that team, all the DMVers, but they're also playing in the Big East. So all 3 is a trifecta of the GTS Fusion trifecta there.
Nice spin move, but the ball would not fall for Gentry. Inside. Oh, yep. And then a traveling violation.
Vidiaco on that catch. When you feel like you're off balance and leaning backwards, that's when the defense knows they have you in their back pocket. All they have to do is release, and now you lose balance and lose your footwork. You got to sit low on the catch so you have some leverage and try to stay connected.
I'm not sure what happened to the three-point prowess at the half. The teams combined 0 for 6 from distance in this third quarter.
And that's what I thought we were going to see, right? A three-point barrage.
Yes.
With Creighton knocking in just under 10, and Marquette second best in the country, shooting 40% from there. I mean, Creighton no slouch percentage-wise, 35%.
Yeah. Townsend high off the glass, no. Vice coming in with that rebound.
That's what we said, you know, they have to be disruptive, and both teams have been disruptive of taking that three-point shot away.
Mason somehow got that shot to fall. What tremendous effort.
You know, back in the day when you used to go and watch pickup games and you were the next game, and, you know, if Mason was on the team that lost, that's my first pick.
Right.
I'm picking her up. She's a hooper, and that's what we were watching today, a shoot-around. I mean, she's just an energy giver. She just has this slickness about her game.
Bofelli wanted a whistle, didn't get it. Largest lead of the game for Marquette at 12. This is a danger zone for Creighton. Volker, nothing but net.
Yeah, right there at the elbow. Volker stopping and popping just when Marquette needed a bucket.
7-0 run by the Golden Eagles. And another turnover by the Blue Jays as things just are unraveling for Creighton at this juncture.
But not for Marquette. Look at Mason getting to that low man defensively, and it didn't matter. She was able to scoop that one in. Lee Volker said, I'm not going to go all the way to the cup. I'm going to go right here in the midi and get it to drop home. I mean, that was just a great decision. The last two possessions for Marquette, great decisions. And now they can go into their horn set here, trying to still go down in the paint.
Under a minute to go here in this third quarter. Season low for Creighton, 50 points twice. They've got half that right now. Shot clock at 6. Volker trying to step through, gets it to Vice. That'll work.
Great patience once again by Lee Volker. I mean, she waited for Vice to take that cut along that weak side lane line. And that's why you stay mobile off the ball. You don't watch your teammates try to make something happen. You help the team make something happen.
Shot clock is off, 12 seconds to go. Creighton just 1 for 13 from the floor in this quarter. It's been a nightmare for the Blue Jays. And now another turnover. Porter's got it, and will shoot some free throws just before the clock expires in the quarter. An inspired defensive effort by Marquette, leading to some separation, Christy.
Yeah, you saw Creighton trying to run their Spain action, trying to re-screen off the top of that horn set to no avail. Creighton did a pretty good job of trying to execute that, but Marquette blew it up and went the other way with it.
Porter hits the first free throw. Coach Consuegra, very complimentary of her IQ. As she hits a pair.
Just super smart. And coaches know.
And that is how the third quarter will end. A dominating effort by Marquette as the Golden Eagles outscore the Blue Jays 15-2. What a flex. Can Creighton get off the deck? We will find out together next on True TV.
Mason. What a move! Let's not put that game pickup. Right? I love it. What is it? It's out there. Firecracker. She's so shifty.
Firecracker.
She is so shifty.
Tearing things apart.
3 on the way. Nora Gessert splashes it home. First field goal for Creighton since 6:22 left in the third quarter, Christy.
And they need more of that. Now they can get into a little bit of pressure here, trying to play some containment with their 2-2-1 press.
And that is the dangerous thing about Creighton. They're down 20, but they can shoot themselves right back into this ballgame in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but they got to get the stops. And they can't continue to foul, right? You got to play clean on the defensive end. They need to rebound better and also score.
Yep.
It's a three-pronged attack. Mason trying to get the ball down in there, and it is just a crowded space, and that was not a matched angle there to get that entry pass down to Vice, or Forbes, excuse me.
So off the turnover, it will be Blue Jays basketball. So put on your coaching hat, Christy. What do you think Jim Flannery wants to see from these Blue Jays?
My coaching hat's always on, unfortunately.
That's true.
Thinking the game, but I think he understands that he needs to set up some great spacing and get some screens because of how Marquette is playing defense, right? They're trying to take the paint away. And, you know, they can't rely solely on their three-point shooting prowess, although they can be very effective from there, to your point. But they've got to get some straight-line drives. They've got to really force some switches and force some advantage opportunities to take when Marquette switches.
To Volker picking up the personal foul. Creighton will go back to work on the offensive end. Terrific finish at the cup by Buffelli.
Really solid finish there by Buffelli. She knew she was individually covered. No one was coming to crowd her space, and she took advantage.
Mason getting it back to Porter. Forbes smokes it. Nice rebound by McGee.
A good idea there by Forbes to square her second shoulder up to the backboard for the finish.
And then Nora Gessert wasn't ready for the basketball as McGee was trying to give it to her.
Let's take a look at Buffelli. Okay, she knew she was individually covered. They emptied out the strong side. It gave her the space and time to complete that kind of play.
Mason to Forbes in the corner. Forbes pulls from three. And Buffelli is there to clean up the grass.
And again,
Glass, rather.
the drop coverage, though, on that. They got to get tighter on that play, on those screens, especially when it's Forbes, right? Dropped back on that. You've got to close that gap on those screens that they're trying to set and free her up for.
So Volker picking up her third personal. She will take a seat, replaced by Jordan Melmans. And also back in the game, Neely Gessert and Zedeker back in as well.
They need Zedeker to get a piece of the paint and try to get some spray outs and attacking closeouts, right?
Her first game back after missing a couple in concussion protocol. You saw that she was scoreless on the day. This from the team's leading scorer, who averages almost 13 a night.
Right, and they just need to maximize their opportunities down here. And it doesn't always have to be a three, even if you're running that motion offense. And that's something Coach Flannery said, hey, we're only returning one starter from last year. We have one transfer and 6 freshmen. So there's the learning curve. And when you're, you know, last year probably you put a play in on Tuesday, they executed nicely on a Thursday. And now it's like Thursday comes and they're like, wait, where do I go again? And you got to get the whiteboard out and just reteach and kind of start from scratch with this young squad. But they're receptive, they're sponges, but experience is the best teacher.
Neely Gessert now has 5 points after her trip to the free throw line. Well below her season average. Melman's off from distance. And the smallest player on the floor comes up with the rebound in Jaden Mason.
Diminutive on the outside, huge heart on the inside.
100%.
Out-hustled everyone on that.
Kennedy Townsend is going to pick up the foul on the push as Vice goes airborne. I don't think she has the ability to fly.
I mean, don't tell her that. A lot of confidence now. I mean, you know, she's been playing with a ton of confidence lately.
She said that was the only thing missing from her game a season ago. And thanks to the coaches pouring into her, she's got it now.
Yeah, I remember Chelsea was talking to her about that earlier today at practice.
Vice, what a move. Okay, Vice is nice. She's into double figures with 10. 3 on the way, too strong by Gentry. Another opportunity for the Blue Jays. Shot clock didn't reset. Gessert, battle for the rebound. Gentry trying to come away with it. Jump ball is called. Possession arrow pointing at Creighton.
With hustle, you see the fight on the glass, and you see it's there. And again, this is an incredibly young team in Creighton. I mean, 4 consecutive NCAA tournaments for them, and this year they were not in the top 25 in the preseason for the first time in 4 years. So there's a lot of growth that's ahead of this team. They're super young, but they're fighters.
Oh, nice splash by Neely Gessert at the elbow.
Yeah, nice flick of the wrist. It seems to be okay. I think she caught a stinger on that right hand. You see it, thumb is taped up.
Yep, she's got 7 points.
Didn't bother her on that play.
McGee has 9. She hasn't scored in the second half. All 9 of those points came in the first half. The defense has been exceptional by Marquette tonight. Shot clock getting skinny. Vice recognizing. Vice has got a pull. No, gives it up. 3 on the way. That'll work to beat the shot clock. Olivia Porter, hello.
And Porter snuggled that one home from range right when Marquette needed it.
Porter's got 18 huge points, and then she almost came away with a steal.
Well, Marquette having their way, especially from 3. Piece of the paint, spray out, 1 second on the shot clock, 3 points in the bucket.
It's Olivia Porter's world, and we're just living in it. She's got a new career high of 4 triples and tied a career high with 18 points, Christy.
Well, she has been phenomenal. She has her relatives, her dad and her brothers play football. She's just as tough as them. She got down into the paint when she needed to, but she also let it fly from range a couple times, set herself up on some relocations, and made the opponent pay for not closing out properly. 4 for 9 from range in this one for those 18 big points.
And if anybody knows what Coach Consuegra wants, it's her. She followed her from Charlotte.
Yeah, she did. She also spent some time at Michigan State as well.
Long 3 wouldn't fall. And Vice picks up the personal foul. She doesn't believe it. So 3rd personal on Vice. Here it is.
Let's take a look underneath. She has her hands tucked behind, and that's something you can't do. Now, speaking of what you were asking me about being a coach, right? I used to always say, show your hands up high. You can do the same thing in terms of keeping players behind you as you can if you bring them down low and try to box them in and hold, right? You just have to move your feet. But you can do the same thing physically up top. If you have your arms out and break them at the elbows, they can't get around that.
Right.
So you don't need to hold. Just show your hands up.
And if you're not swiping down, the referee has no reason to blow the whistle.
Oh, no. I mean, she was definitely down and gripping the body, like holding from behind. You don't need to do all that. You can get a nice box out with showing your hands out to the side.
Gentry splits a pair, and then Forbes splits defenders.
Just nicely executed. I mean, she's just so poised with her game. She's just kind of let the game come to her.
Forbes into double figures with 10. That's 3 players in double figure scoring for Marquette. Forbes and Vice, as well as Porter. Forbes with the 2nd double-double of the season as well. She's got those 10 boards, and that's exactly what we expected to see out of her, Christy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 20-4 advantage in paint points in the second half for Marquette. So they got that right at the halftime break.
Gentry earns a trip to the free throw line.
Well, this is why Marquette has been able to take this lead and keep full command with this kind of leverage and traction. Oh, it's a little show and go. Oh, that was just so nicely executed in terms of footwork, poise, composure, and execution.
So Volker picks up the personal. She's got 4 and will take a seat as Gentry steps to the free throw line. The acclaimed HBO original series Industry is back. Kiernan Shipka, Max Minghella, and Charlie Heaton join Kit Harington and the cast. New season, new rivals, everything on the line. Industry premieres Sunday at 9 p.m. on HBO Max. 3.5 minutes to go here in Milwaukee. Marquette in control. What have you learned about the Golden Eagles tonight, Christy?
That they can win in a lot of different ways. Right? When you try to take their paint away, which Creighton did a good job of in that first half, they're going to find a way to press that gas pedal down a little harder and do what they want to do. So they kind of impose their will in that way in the second half. said, no, we have an advantage in the paint, so we've got to make them pay in there, and they have most certainly done that here. See?
And one opportunity after the bump and the bucket. Mason is worth your attention.
Yeah, that's why I just said the paint has been Marquette's friend. In the second half, they have been in full-on attack mode, and Mason is money right there at the cup. I mean, she is a lightning bolt in terms of her speed, but also has the ability to smooch it off the window like that in traffic and finish nicely there.
Into double figures for the 7th time this season. She can't complete the three-point play, but that's about the only thing that hasn't worked for her tonight.
No, I love her game. I had her circled mentally after shoot around because I was like, man, she's special. There's something about her. She just, you know, and she doesn't, you don't hear her name enough.
Right.
But she is clearly the X factor for the energy that this Marquette squad has been able to give in this game.
Yeah, she is why Coach Consuegra sleeps well at night.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about all that. I mean, coaches don't sleep much.
Oh, that's true. I don't know. Coach Kara, you know, she said she took a page out of Bluter's book.
She did.
That was her coaching inspiration at Iowa.
Yeah.
And so Bluter's coaching tree in retirement continues to blossom thanks to coaches like Consuegra.
No, I love that. She said that Lisa Bluter always held them accountable, and it was tough, and they loved that, and they wanted it. And that's what she wants here for her team. I mean, it's like a cookie cutter philosophy in terms of what she learned from Lisa Bluter there in that one season.
First 2 points of the day for leading scorer Ava Zedeker. Forbes working hard down low. And it looks like Mason will pick up the personal going over the back. Taking a look at Marquette's upcoming schedule at Seton Hall. Home to Georgetown, at St. John's, at Butler, and then home to DePaul.
Yeah, it's a gauntlet in the Big East, and you have to prove yourself to yourself. And that's what Coach Consuegra wants from her team, right? She said we have to play for and with each other. That's why they average 19 assists per game. Because it doesn't matter who scores, it only matters that they score as a team. So there's this selflessness about this squad, and that's the best way to play. Nobody wants to play with my turn shot people or see somebody wide open and say, no, you just made one, let me try.
Yeah.
Like, there's none of that on this team. It's selfless, and that's why they win.
Corner three on the way is good by who else? Olivia Porter with a new career high of 21 points.
But how about the extra pass being made there? That swing to the corner, and now that's 12 assists on the evening for Marquette.
Vice coming up with the easy steal. She's running the break, tried to get it to Mason, and it is Zedeker coming up with the basketball. Want to shout out our outstanding TNT crew, just nails tonight. Producer Dan Keener, director Jonathan Bywaters, my statistician Dick Dornan. Everybody has just been phenomenal. Nice turnaround jumper by McGee, her first basket of the second half.
Yeah, she was on fire, and it's just tough for her to find some space in the second half.
Porter continues to add to that career high now with 23.
She is a workhorse out here. She's scoring in every way possible. Oh, and got a steal.
Comes away with it. It's okay, I'll bring it up, no problem.
Oh, she walked right there.
Might have gotten away with steps, but when you set a career high, aren't you allowed a little latitude?
I guess so, because that was one. It's just such a knee-jerk reaction for me.
Forbes right at the rim is not going to miss from there. And Forbes now has a dozen. She's got that double-double. She did her work in the paint and made it tough on this Creighton offense that at times can be prolific.
Yeah, for sure. And Forbes told us, she said that's what we need to do to have the advantage inside.
Thank you, Kendall McGee, for the exclamation point on your offense in particular. She's into double figures. Unfortunately, the only player in double figures for the Blue Jays tonight. Part of the reason why the score is so lopsided in favor of Marquette. Zedeker with some tremendous defense, creating the turnover, just harassing and haranguing Forbes. You love to see the effort, even though the score is out of hand. Creighton is playing like they're just down 2 points.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want to see. You want to see the energy, the effort, the focus. But now you have to press the reset button. and get ready for the next couple of games.
Getting a look at Cam Herring. As the bench has been emptied by Marquette. Zedeker, 3, too strong. And that is what the night has been like for Creighton.
Just tough from the three-point line. They knocked in 4 triples in that first half, 2 in the second, and 6 of 26 overall.
We're just going to hold it and dribble it out. 10 seconds to go. Shot clock is off, and Marquette will win a 3rd straight game with relative ease, thanks in large part to some outstanding defense. 67-49 is the final as Marquette improves to 8-1 here at home. Your big takeaway from this, Christy?
They pounded the ball in the paint in the second half, and that was the biggest difference maker. We thought it was going to be a 3-point shooting barrage by both teams, and it turned out to be a rock fight in the paint. In the trenches, right there at the cup, it was a 36-12 advantage in paint points for Marquette. They went to the money.
It was a career day at the office for Olivia Porter. 23 points on 5 of 10 shooting from 3.
Well, she was simply phenomenal. I mean, she was able to measure the defense, dissect it, and attack it. She shot the ball exceptionally well from the three-point line, but that was also something that gave her some leverage and decision-making to get downhill and attack the midi and attack right there at the cup.
Standing by with head coach Kara Consuegra is our Chelsea Sherrod.
Coach, that third quarter was really the differentiator and leading you to this win, holding Creighton to just 2 points. What did you think about your team's defensive intensity in the second half?
Well, I think at the end of the day, our identity is our defense, and everybody wants to talk about our offense this year. And you know, today we were a little bit slower, and again, that was a credit to Creighton in their game plan. We know at the end of the day we can defend, and we showed that in the third quarter.
A career high 23 points for Olivia Porter. I saw you give her a hug as she came out of the game for the last time. What stood out to you about her offensive production?
You know, Liv hasn't been shooting the ball well, and she's been getting up extra work. I told her before the game, leaders are believers, and we believe in you and that you're going to make threes. We knew they were going to help off of her. She did a tremendous job.
You said you wanted to limit Creighton's threes. They shot about 24% from 3 in this game. How do you think about how you executed that game plan?
Yeah, I think for the most part, we had really great urgency on all their actions. We made a few mistakes, but we didn't make mistakes back to back, and I think that's huge for our kids. Our communication was great. We just tried to make it tough for them to score.
All right, Coach, congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks so much as Marquette holds Creighton to a season low, winning 67-49. For Chelsea Sherrod, Christy Winter-Scott, and the rest of our crew, I am Cindy Brunson saying so long from Milwaukee. Sunday, a Big East women's doubleheader. Don't miss it. Villanova at Providence, followed by #1 UConn at Creighton. That'll do it for us. Thanks for watching Big East basketball with TNT Sports. We can't wait to talk to you down the road.